afternoon, traders. Hopefully, everyone is having a good day and had a great weekend. Now, before I get into the show, I really do want to thank all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. All right, with that said, as you know, all major indices down today. But guys, remember, these are buying opportunities. Okay, we are very close to 52-week highs in the Spider and the Dow and all that stuff. So remember, it's not going to just start coming down now. It's not going to crash now. What is important though is finding out what key levels to start buying back into the market or putting money back to work. That's why I have the SPY, the Spider ETF. Now, if anybody who saw yesterday's show, I do every Sunday Eric's Sunday picks, which I give 3 picks and see how they fare for the whole week, and then we do a recap, right, guys? But I did go over the SPY, and I did say that. We had this bull flag forming here from last week, and there was going to be a high probability that we were going to maybe gap up and go and retest that 52-week high, right? But guess what? The market did exactly what I thought it wasn't going to do, right? It gapped lower, it retested that 10 SMA. Great place right here, guys, to buy, right? I mean, it held that 10 SMA. It did close, towards the higher part of the day right there. So, I really do think tomorrow, if we do see a little bit of a gap, we'll probably get a little gap and go and retest that 52-week high up here, and we'll obviously start making higher highs and continue on this beautiful uptrend that we've been on in the market. All right, guys, that's the SPY. All right, let me give you 3 stocks that I think that look really good going into tomorrow. Some key levels to watch out for, and maybe if you're in the name to look at if you want to add to them, or if you're thinking about selling, where to sell, where to buy, and all that. Okay, so the first one's going to be Piedmont Lithium. Here's one that I still own some shares from a little bit lower. So I'm really bullish overall on this. But if you are in the name and you missed this whole run and you're thinking about buying it, or you're thinking about adding to your position, I'm going to give you some key levels right here. Okay, so anyone who knows me really loves those charts that where you have that 10 SMA over the 50 and the 50 over the 200, guys, and that's what we have here. Any good looking bullish chart has those indicators in that order, and this one has that. So, in my opinion, these are and should be bought on pullbacks until you see a change in trend, right? So, with that said, where should I buy? Well, we did go and breach below that 10 SMA. We did close right below it. So for tomorrow, guys, watch this very carefully. If we start breaking below today's low, we have to target that 50 SMA right down here at 25 and a half before we see a bounce. All right, I do want to bring this up on that 513 EMA chart real quickly. Now, the 5 EMA, as you know, has to be above that 13 EMA in order for it to be a bullish chart. That's what we have. We did hold that 13 EMA today. That's why it's even more important, because any close, any move below that 13 EMA and close below that EMA is probably going to be a trend reversal, and there's a high probability we are going to go and check and see if that 50 SMA does hold right down here. Okay, guys. So remember, watch those key levels tomorrow. I like using that first 30-minute candle as a good indicator of how the overall market's going to go. I do like buying, above that first 30-minute candle. To me, it just signifies there's enough trading, but for that sample size is enough of a sample for me to give you a good indication on how that the rest of the day is going to go. No, that's just my opinion. There's obviously it could go below that, well into the day, but I like using that first 30-minute candle as a good barometer. Okay, so again, for tomorrow, watch these key levels. If it does not hold today's low, do not buy anything. Wait to see if we can get it all the way down here at 25.50. That's PLL. All right, second stock I'm going to give you some good trade location is WKHS. Here's another one that we've played in the past. As you can see, the 10 SMA is above the 50, and the 50 is clearly above the 200. So again, to me, this is a situation where you want to buy on the dips until that trend reverses on us. Okay, so this did spike a lot lower than I thought it would, but this has a very high beta name. So it doesn't really surprise me. The whole EV sector was getting decimated today, and this actually held up pretty well considering. Okay, so let me bring this up on that 513 EMA chart real quickly before we give you some key levels. If you can see that 13 EMA right down here at 24.43, did not hold. It did spike all the way down here. It did close up, pretty, about a buck higher than the 13 EMA. So that's a pretty good sign. So for tomorrow, see if that first 30-minute candle does hold. You're going to know right away, guys, in this name. If it does not hold, if it gaps down, do not buy this stock. Wait for some good trade location. So if it does gap down, all right, wait to see if that 50-day moving average holds. Now, if it doesn't hold, if it goes all the way down here, again, don't buy. Don't buy. Let the whole trade play out for a day or two, and then we'll wait to see if we can catch it back up on the upside, right? I mean, clearly from that high, broke below that 50 SMA. I'm looking back here, back all the way from late October, went all the way down, and this was a good time to buy, right? It started coming down, it based for a while, and then it started closing above that 10-day moving average, and there was a nice run again in that whole EV sector. Same thing here, guys. See if that 50-day moving average, if it doesn't hold, don't be a buyer. We'll catch it at a better time, all right? It's all about trade location and finding out what kind of game these market makers are playing. And that's it. That's simple as that. All right. Next stock on the list, one that, I did not play in the past. I kind of missed it. It had a really nice run. It kind of got away from me. It looked really interesting, early November when you saw this 10 SMA right here start breaking above that 50, and then I just missed it. It just started going up too fast. And on top of that, I really couldn't find much information on the internet on this company. I went to their website, couldn't hear a conference call, couldn't do anything. So I stayed away from the name. And the only reason why I'm giving this to you is I'm sure there's people out there who know about this company. I don't. I'm just trying to give you some key levels to trade off of if you know the company, you understand the company. Okay, guys? So again, if you do like the company, I'm going to give you some key levels to trade off of. Again, the 10 is above the 50 and the 50 is above the 200. Great looking chart, should be bought on pullbacks. All right. It did close below that 10 SMA, a little bit of a concern, but the whole market was down, so that's understandable. So I want to bring this up on that 13 EMA real quickly. If we zoom in on here on that 13 EMA chart, take a look, guys. It did hold that 13 EMA, did close above that, so that's a very good sign. So for tomorrow, again, watch today's low. If it starts breaking below today's low tomorrow, especially right in the morning, do not buy this stock. Please do not buy it. Even though if you know the name, I think you could find better trade location on this. Now, where's that trade location? If it takes out today's low tomorrow, let's start targeting this midpoint Bollinger Band initially, and then all the way down here to this midpoint, or I'm sorry, to this 50-day moving average of 766. Guys, if you make a mistake and buy this up here at 10 bucks and it starts breaking below, you're going to regret being a bag holder. Trust me, I've done it. It sucks. You have to wait, and other things are moving and you're looking, and it just makes you always do the wrong thing. That's why it's imperative to find the proper trade location, because when you know you're wrong, you get out, you take a small loss, and you move on. You make a loss like this where you're stuck $2 or $3, and a name like this where you buy it at 10.24. Next thing you know, it's down to 8.61 or all the way down to 7.75, where that 50-day moving average. You're miserable. Okay. So again, watch those key levels tomorrow. If you see that bid stiffening up, be a buyer, but always scale in and watch today's low as your potential stop out price. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Monday afternoon. My name is Eric, and you can reach me by either contacting me at eric@valueareatrader.com or just by leaving a comment down below. Now, if you're a subscriber, thank you again so much. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. If you're not, please go ahead and subscribe. I really do think you're going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical analysis. All right, guys, with that said, let's see you tomorrow night. Remember to trade smart and be safe.